Hello, I am here in front of the entire country. Um, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I wasn't popular before, like at all. I was the least popular person in any group. Like, there's nothing to me, you know? So, why would I be popular? But now I've become really popular, in like a bunch of different groups. And I mean, I can name some the Stags, um, Sons of Adam, Daughters of Eve. Um, KKK, some bike gangs here in Florida and in North Carolina, um, trucker groups, uh, some people who do Bitcoin search online. Um, I don't know if they're actually into cryptocurrency, but whatever. Um, People who are trying to hurt targets and people who are trying to save targets. I don't thank either of you. I don't thank the ones that are trying to save us. The reason is that you're doing the exact same thing that those guys are doing. It's just not consistent with being saved. So I don't thank you for it.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought because I'm trying to do something important here.
I would I just wanna okay, so there's another way out of how do I explain this? There's only one way that you can save a target. Okay? The only way that you can really save a target is by vying for them. You know? Which is not what people like Elio do or Sergio. Let me tell you something. I don't have I have a lot of love for the people that I used to have a lot of love. And the reason is that they know stuff and they don't talk about it and they let people call you things that you shouldn't be called, like crazy. They let people put you in Louis bins, and it's just not consistent with truth. And you want the truth in your life. So when you want the truth in your life, what you do is you um I'm sorry, is that loud? Oh yeah, I was listening to the first book of Samuel. Um, Very interesting. Story about how we earn our first king, which we shouldn't have had because God was already our king. Um, and story about how we get the wrong kind of thing because God says, you want a king, He's just going to take from you. You know, I give you, and I just ask you for very little. My yoke is easy. But if you want a king, I'm going to give him to you. He's just going to take a whole bunch from you. Um, so right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm going through certain tribulations, and there are some people up in North Carolina. Yeah, I lost a finger. Sorry. Um, it's what did I tell you? It's been rough. Um, especially especially trying to tell people not to go to places like Wekiva Springs anymore on Thursdays. Mm. This afternoon, I was making this video, and I remember that. I was like, oh, I have to tell people not to go to Wekiva Springs on Thursdays because they might run into some drones there. But full disclosure, Nobody really cares. But then they don't know what's going on. You know, when you're a Target, you go and buy nice things, but you can't get the prices that you want. You got to go to Walmart. Walmart doesn't have any drones. Not the big ones. Target might have a couple. Um, so people who are trying to save targets, that's what I was trying to say. Really shouldn't be trying. Just they don't know what they're doing. Um, there's a man. Somewhere along, I forgot his name. He gave me his number, right? I met him online, and he gave me his number, and he started talking to me about taking me off my watch list. I was like, how can you do that? You know, only whoever has the watch list knows whose watch list it is. And he shows me this picture of a website and a login page. I'm not going to tell you what it looks like because I don't know how real it is, what he showed me. So I'm still trying to decide whether this guy was real or not because I don't think he's persecuting me. So might be the real deal. I don't know. I gotta pray about it, you know. And if God says go for it, I'm gonna David that butt. I mean, my ex-boyfriends. There are a whole bunch of people. Whole bunch of people. This was like a year ago. I had another phone number. I had another phone. I had two phone numbers actually. Um, and this guy called Elio, who used to be a friend of mine, and Ginelli, who used to be a friend of mine, seemed to have some sort of love affair. She did it with my ex too. I don't understand how she goes everywhere. Even, you know, I don't understand what she's doing. How does she do that? Is it because she's a Buddhist? Maybe she's marrying all these guys. She's getting married all the time. She's like the great prostitute. You know what happens to the great prostitute? Her husbands leave her at the worst time ever. Like at the end of the world, where everything is just like going off in flames. All of the prostitutes' husbands leave her. That's what's starting to happen actually. I think I think we're in a time I think the time of apostasy might be consistent with the great prostitute being left behind. Just because first of all religions are going to go, yeah, for the worship of a man. And just know that China is already like seeking communist full this full what's that called? Anyway, the dragon is in the world. Let me just tell you that way. The dragon is in the world. I've seen him. I've seen his counterparts. I've seen things that would curd your blood, not in a good way. And well, all those people that I just mentioned are in it. I'm losing people to the mark of the beast. Let's just put it that way. You say, I can't be because the mark of the beast is not here. I mean, we would know it. I don't know. They're doing something that's not of God. I don't know if there is some form that someone can accept the mark of the beast before it's out. you know. Maybe the mark of the beast is something that already exists in Satanism, and you can you maybe take it, or maybe not even Satanism, because it might not be satanic. It might not be something, let me explain that. It might not be from the satanic cult. It might be something like Islamic, for example. It might be something that in Islam, yeah. I don't think it's the Buddha. Um, because Xi Jinping is letting the Buddha go, I think the Buddha is not going to be part of the greater scheme of things. He may just be like a demon helping out because he's still got some power in the world. But I mean, China's a pretty big country and has a lot of influence. In Asia, I don't know what kind of influence he might have in or say he might have in who worships what. Um, but I mean, I used to practice Nichiren Buddhism for like 5 or 6 months. I did that. All you do is you sit down in front of an altar and you chant. But this is very dangerous. When you do that, you're opening doors that you don't know you're opening. And I had a spiritual experience doing meditation one day. I got so involved in the meditation that I had a spiritual experience. Something went into my body. The Lord rebuked it. Whatever it was, I don't want to hear. It has to go in the name of Yeshua Jesus. It has to go and never come back. I have said this so many times. I have divorced the spirit many, many times. The Lord be praised and blessed. Yeshua is the only King. Adonai is the only God. They're fighting me. Shoot, what you're seeing is real. I can feel it. They're going. That's what I feel. Praise be the Lord. Praise be the Lord who protects his children. Nobody knows what I've been through. The Buddha has no place, no power, no authority over me. None. Neither does Muhammad. I used to know a guy called Muhammad. I don't know that guy anymore. That's it. I also battled the spirit of Muhammad. An ex friend that I have, Elio, he is tied now to Muhammad, but he has nothing to do with me. I divorced him in the name of Yeshua. No, man, no. No, 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 no. Anybody who's doing any kind of work of the spirit on my behalf, I renounce it in the name of Yeshua. Any kind of work of the spirit, I renounce it in the name of Yeshua. Any kind of work of the spirit, I renounce it in the name of Yeshua. On any altar, I renounce it in the name of Yeshua. Magicians, I'm going to give you that word, okay? That's what I'm seeing right now. Magicians. I just saw an image that looked like a Muslim. He had glasses, um, not of the Lord. And what I saw him do was magic. It wasn't Islam, it was magic. The more I see this guy, the more I think that the false prophet is Muhammad. And then the beast is going to be something else, like a person who's given power by, I mean, I've seen a power out there already. You want me to talk about it? Let's talk about that. But I wanted to talk about something else, but I don't really have an agenda here. Um, I had these two dreams. I hope the Lord is okay with me sharing this. I had these two dreams, and both dreams were the same thing, but there were different people in it. And they were slightly different, but they weren't. I renounce all listening spirits, all monitoring spirits in the name of Yeshua. They have no place, no power, and no authority over me. Um, Please remember, I am a victim of satanic ritual abuse. So a lot of things happen to me like this. I am hexed all day, every day. There are spirits trying to haunt my entire life. I cast them out all day long. There's one reason why I'm not working right now. It doesn't mean I'm not working, but I'm not like out in the world working. Just doing something a little different now. Not what I'm used to doing, not what I like doing, but doing something different. The devil loves to hear what you have to say. Do you know that? He has an ear for listening to what people say. And he tries to hit you any which way he can. And that's the way of my ex's mom. She's a monitoring spirit, and so is he, by the way. He's a siren. He's a, I don't know if that's different, but in the spiritual realms they look different. He looks like a merman, and his mom looks like a beast. Really weird stuff. Like I had never seen anything like this before. It's like having visions of things from hell or of things from heaven. It's like daydreaming. It's like having the same dreams that you have at night, having them in waking life. That's what having visions is like. But it's scary to see the things that actually exist in the spiritual realms, because when you bring them to the real world, well, you're looking at a person, but they're not a person really. You can see what they are on the inside, and they're talking to you, and they're acting sort of normal, but you can see that they're not, and you can feel it too. Like these people, you can, like, even on the phone, you can feel that something's off, that you can't be around this person because it hurts you. um I There's just so many people like that right now in the world, and I think it's because maybe God is starting to take people. And I've wondered for a little while if the rapture isn't already happening. And you might say, well, how could it be happening? Right? It's like, well, rapture is it's such a word that people don't understand. When God raptures you, a rapture is like taking something, and you take it with you. You know, it's like kidnapping, but not really. God can't kidnap you. Kidnapping, by the way, is a word for children. Adult napping would be more like for adults. Elderly napping would be for the elderly. Women napping would be for women. But let's just call it what it is. That's what the rapture is. You know, So it's God's taking of your spirit, not your body. Your body doesn't. Your body isn't in this show. This event takes place in the spiritual realms. So when God takes your spirit with Him somewhere else, that's rapture, and that happens to people on a very regular basis. As a matter of fact, because the Spirit of God is now with us through Yeshua, if you believe in Him, there are people that when you go to church, for example, somebody's praying over you and it's such a powerful, connection with God that God says, I'm going to take you. And then you fall to the ground and you might like pass out. It's happened to me that I've almost gone passed out. Some people don't pass out. They just like fall. Um, and that's rapture, you know. So people think that when the marriage of the lamb is taking place, which is actually taking place now, that's what God has told me. um when that happens, people's bodies are going to be taken up, and that when the rapture happens, people's body are going to be taken up, and that their clothes are going to be left behind. That's what most people think. And if you look at all of these movies, these like Left Behind movies and their derivatives, that's what they show you. They show you clothes on the floor. You know, it's like, oh, I came home and everybody's clothes were on the floor, but nobody was home. So yeah, you got left behind. That's not how it's going to happen, because the rapture is going to be spiritual. What's going to happen is God's going to take your spirit. He's going to lift it up. He's going to take you with him. Where you're going to go and what's going to happen to your body after that, my thought has been for a while that people are just going to die, that those bodies are going to stay behind, that they're just going to go. But I've been having so many spiritual experiences and I have so many questions now. And I wonder, because, okay, I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you something that I saw happen to a person. Um, this guy, he was at the gym and he saw me outside crying because something had happened. And well, I don't quite want to talk about it right now, but I was by my car and I was crying, and I was crying desperately. And this guy comes out and he sits down with me and he says, "Don't cry, we're not." And I felt like there was an angel with him telling me, "Don't worry, everything's okay." And I felt better, because what had just happened was a spiritual event where I felt like God wouldn't want me anymore. And it was a mistake I made. And it was a very stupid mistake to make. Um, let's just say that the devil beat me up pretty badly. And I was not as awake as I should have been. But this guy sits down with me. He was like, "Don't worry about it, we're not." And then all of a sudden, I see him change. It isn't anything that he did. It was sort of like something came in and knocked whatever was in him out. And then he looked at me and he said, "Are you comfortable?" And those words are something that I take back to my ex boyfriend, because when he was talking to me in demon code, he would say some words that I knew meant something else. And one of the words that or one of the phrases that he used was, or one of the things that he used was, and I remember that I don't know what was happening, but I was not feeling well. I was crying and whatnot. I was depressed, and he uh he was putting my PJs on. Let's just put it that way. And I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you helping me?" And he said, "I just want you to be comfortable," he said. But the way that he said it sounded like he meant something else. like the being comfortable was for something else, like for some other sort of event, something more spiritually related. And I didn't really think that he wanted me to be comfortable. I it sounded a little sarcastic. Um, so that happened with that guy, but it just seemed like he changed in a moment. It was like the guy that was talking to me was gone, and there was somebody else in his place. And that's happened to me a whole bunch of times. Um, More times than I care to know. The other day I was the devil it's using the word love a lot. I got to tell you about that one. He's using it like to call people love, right? It's like, and whenever I hear it, it kind of gives me the creeps. Like when somebody says, "Hey, love," or whatever, um, because it kind of sounds like the devil is trying to make himself known. And the reason that I know that is that one day, not too far from today, I went to a restaurant and I saw this girl, cashier or whatever, she had this pentagram on. And I immediately think about things like, can I speak to this to her, about what she's wearing, about what it means or whatever. Um, I asked God about how to preach to people, you know. Um, but then she was like, how can I help you, love? And as soon as she said love, I was like, the devil heard me. I know that he heard me. And I know that he's using that, to let me know that he's here or to bother me. Because he's trying to bother people now. And he's trying, there's no way that you can test God's patience anymore. There's no way. He's already done with you. I just want to tell you that. And not you, but him. It that was not. Um, so yeah, I've seen that happen at restaurants, in other places. Suddenly somebody's like changing a food tray, and they start talking to me, and I can feel that the person who was putting the stuff there is no longer there, and there's something else that's trying to take over spiritually and speaking through them. And I wonder, is it something that's following me, trying to terrorize me? Or is this happening everywhere? Let me tell you, it could be both. Um, and because I've had so many dreams about politicians, for example, going through spiritual events, my thought is that maybe the world is just changing now. When John the Baptist started preaching, he said, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." And we say that, the Lord rebuke you, Satan. When you say that, what you're saying is Jesus is here. The Messiah is here. Things are going to change. And I wonder if they did not change since then, because when Jesus was born, or if Armageddon didn't actually start then, I don't know, some sort of big battle was already happening, right? I, these are opinions. These are questions I have. These are not Bible. This is just me looking at everything I'm going through and saying, wait. Because when you read the Bible in the book of Revelations, especially, you notice that Satan's been in heaven for a while. I talked about this in my last video today. Because it says that it isn't until Jesus is born that the devil, that Michael, or the archangel Michael, um, throws Satan from heaven onto earth. So all this time, all those thousands of years, Satan has been in heaven. Not probably heaven, like where the angels are enjoying, mocktails and pork. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not kosher. I'm messianic, but I'm not kosher. Um, I don't want to be, I don't want to have that conversation right now. But maybe sandwiches. Let's just say sandwiches to be kosher and just call it call it an even day. Because hey, God has revealed kosher to me, and He has revealed clean eating to me, and some days He says don't eat the pork, and some days He doesn't care. So, or He doesn't tell me anything. You know, I just if He tells me this is it, no more pork, no more lobster, then I quit, and that's it. Which may happen, if I move to Israel. If I move to Israel, that's probably gonna happen. Now, where was I? Clean eating? No. I was talking about changing. I was talking about these manifestations of the spirit. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Um, yeah. So the devil had been in heaven all that time, and then all of a sudden, um, I want to tell you what just happened. Did you see me raise my hand right here? Okay. So all of a sudden, it got drowsy. Oh, it went away. Lord rebuke you, Satan. I wonder if I can tell you what I'm seeing. There's a there's I'm going through a spiritual battle. Now, all of a sudden I got really drowsy, and when I lifted my hand, like I knew it was the devil because I wasn't drowsy before. I lifted my hand and all of a sudden the drowsiness went away. And I saw that there was something here, like some sort of demonic thing. And these are the things that I'm going through. So there may be other people around you who are going through this, and they're being called schizophrenic. They're maybe taking pills to try to ease their pain. But this really needs to be fought with faith and prayer and fasting. Just so you know, the right kind of faith. You have to believe in Jesus. You have to believe in God Adonai. And that's it. If you believe anything else, that it's going to come back to you. It's not going to work out. So, so what I'm seeing are old demons, and especially I'm seeing a lot of ex-friends looking like demons and looking like things that are from hell, like they're doing things from hell. Um, some of them look like vampires. Uh, some of them might look like beasts, like dogs. I've seen some of them look like dogs. Uh, like lobsters or crabs. Those are really bad guys. They're sex demons. They're Asmodeus. Um, anyway, I just want to warn you. You gotta get ready now. Now I'm actually sleeping. It's 2:20 a.m. I am not going to sleep. Something happened to me today that I just don't want to go to sleep for. Um, but it's okay because I'm the type of person who can stay awake for a very long time. Thanks, Lord. Um, and not break a sweat. I might fall asleep on the bus a little, you know, or if somebody's like giving me a ride somewhere, I might doze up in the back of the like back seat from taking an Uber or whatever. I don't have a bike because uh, riding bikes is dangerous. Don't you know that riding a bike is dangerous? I don't know why the Chinese do that. Riding bikes is very dangerous. You can fall. You can fall. You know, it's just not a good day. Anyway, um, uh, I just want to go to the beach and lay there for a while. I just that's what I want. That's what I want to do. I'm not even a fan of the beach. I'm not. I was born on an island, and I got fed up with the beach. But lakes are a little cold. They're a little cold, so I don't go to the lake. Um, I go I go other places. The river is even colder. Springs are good, like hot springs. There aren't any hot springs here that I know. I don't think there are. So there's this monster, uh, and it walks around, and it has one eye, this very large eye, and it's looking at everything. Yeah, and then it just wants to kill everyone. So it walks all around the United States with its one eye. Do you know what's happening to me right now? I have demons trying to figure out what I'm saying to see if there is some information in there. Monitoring spirits. What a thing. Oh, okay. This video is obviously not going to make any sense to anybody. Um, Honestly, I'm just trying to vent here, trying to warn, but I just didn't want to be alone. Because I went to the Arizona canyons once, and I found that it's a little too lonely, even though a lot of people go there. It's a little too lonely, and you can't stay too long in the canyons without thinking I want to jump off. And that's part of the curse of the Arizona canyons. You know, it's like if you're there on your own for a very long time, you're gonna feel like dropping off the cliff. And the reason is that there are spirits probably that live there, that you know are trying to haunt people. And if you're one of those people that they haunt, that's probably what's going to happen. It's a very odd feeling. You just sort of like go like, why am I thinking this? And you move away from the cliff, obviously, and you say, uh-uh. And then you go back down, and my goodness. I used to have a friend called Sergio. I don't have any friends anymore. I uh i i lost all my friends to morality and rejection. They rejected the ideas of Christ, and I said, morally speaking, I can't hang out with you. So I just don't want to. I don't want to have anything to do with them. Do I wish them well? I don't know if I can. To be completely honest, I tell the Lord, you forgive whoever you want to forgive on my behalf. Anybody who's harmed me or who's wished ill over me, I just forgive them if you will forgive them. Um, I have, in that sense, I can't carry a grudge. And what I say is, if the Lord will forgive them, who am I to say they're not forgiven? Now, given some circumstances, things that people are doing to me, I often do say to the demons and to the people that, like, I see people doing bad things, and I say to them, you're not going to heaven. Whatever you think you're doing, you're not going to heaven, because what you're doing is satanic, you know. And I can't say that, for example, of Catholics. I can say that what they, when they are bowing down to the Virgin Mary, what they're doing is satanic. I can say that. But I can't say that God won't still save them because of some rules that he might have, because they still believe in Jesus. I can't mess with that. I can say that if a member of my family is doing witchcraft while worshiping Jesus, they ain't going to heaven no matter what. They're not. You can't you can't have two masters. You just can't, you know. So if you love your dead mother and you want her to hang around with you in your house, and you lift up her spirit to hang out with you, and you hang out, or if you've seen her walking around the house because you know, you can for some reason see the dead, and you start like talking to her like she's your friend, your imaginary friend, you start doing a little witchcraft and stuff like that, all of this is idolatrous. If you're doing witchcraft, just, I tell you, if you're not repentant from that sin, you're not going home. God hates witches. He hates them. And I'm not talking just about witches. I'm talking about anybody who would manipulate the spiritual realms and speak to the dead and do things like raise spirits and astral traveling and crystal magic and even dream catchers and stuff like that. It's not a God. So God abhors it. And some people he will save, even though they did all that stuff, because those people would have realized, oh, Jesus doesn't like this, and I'm going to stay behind, and I don't want to go to hell. Or if I die tonight, I don't want to go to hell. Because, some witchcraft workers do believe in Jesus. And they do believe that there's a heaven and hell because they've seen things, you know? They go after all this stuff. They get protection from demons, and they go after angels. So they know that all this stuff exists. But if Jesus forgave Paul, who killed Christians, it might be the same kind of rule for a witch who is repentant, or even a Satanist, or any person of any religion. I don't count witchcraft as religion, but the government does. And some witches call it their beliefs. So um whatever. Yeah. So it's a very delicate time right now. And I want to tell you what I'm going through here. There's a demon, and I saw him sitting in an office, like a desk. And then he's trying to hurt me. He's trying to make me do something specific. I'm saying no. So all of a sudden, I feel right here, I feel pain. That's not an angel. It's a demon. You got to start learning the signs. If something hurts suddenly and you don't know where that pain came from, and it's not like you just like ask God, is this natural, or is this something that's trying to bother me and make me sick? That's spiritual. Yeah, we just don't know how much the realm of the spirit moves around us. And Satan was thrown to earth on the day that Jesus was born. So we got him a lot closer than before. And he's making more trouble than ever. I have more to say, I just don't quite know. And that ex-friend from Jacksonville, he's doing something. He used to be a friend from church, man. It's sad when you lose people from church. But he did the wrong thing. He went after the head of the devil, so to speak. And when I see him in visions, I just want to shoot him, like the ducks. Did you ever play that game? Uh, not the Nintendo one, the one at the parlors, at the, what do you call it? Oh my goodness. At the fair games, you know, the ducks, pow, pow, the little rifle. Yeah, I wish I could do that with demons. But the only way to defeat a demon, it doesn't matter what Ghostbusters tell you, is through fasting and prayer and the casting out of spirits. You know, God leads you to cast them out in different ways. You know, He might tell you to do some odd things if there's a spirit in your house that shouldn't be there. Um, yeah. I want to talk more about all these things with you. Um, I mean, if you don't mind, I'm just going to stick around here for a while. Uh, the sun comes out in, in the east. And you know, when I wish this were over. My mother, she was a CIA agent once. It wasn't for very long. 2 years. She hid under the name of Ruby Slist. Slist. Something like that. She was supposedly Russian. She said the stress levels were too high. She was working undercover, trying to find out if there was Social Security fraud. Yep. Crazy.
What?
Do you want to know who does Social Security fraud? The government of the United States of America. They do Social Security fraud. Yep. How do they do it? I think they kill people. I know the FBI is watching. It's okay. I try to be funny. They know what my mom does. But yeah, if my mom were a CIA agent, I wouldn't be telling you. If she had been, I wouldn't be telling you either. I'm smart. But maybe she was. What do you care anyway? Right? You're like, this lady is crazy. But you want to stay in the video because you want to know if there's something else crazy that I'll say. Usually targeted individuals have a lot of interesting things to say. People don't believe them. Like, for example, I lived in, I'm going to tell you where. We're somewhere close by, but not that close to here. Um, and when I lived there, I met these people who were junkies on the street. A lady who also prostituted herself. She lived under a bridge, and guys picked her up there. And she she wasn't a Christian, so don't call her Rahab. This is not a fun story. She told me that she believed that China had a bio weapon, and that's how COVID happened. You know, you hear all these kinds of things, right? Now, there was another guy in that same town living near, more near downtown, um, who was homeless as well. People thought he was crazy, but he said sort of the same thing to me. He said, China built this bioweapon, and that's where COVID came from. That was years ago. Lo and behold, some year, I don't remember when, news came out that China had a plant that had a leak, and that possibly COVID came from that leak. And this was something that was said even by the White House. So it wasn't like any kind of news. It was real. So then you go back to the prostitute and the homeless guy and you say, do you want something to eat? Because I'd like to sit down and talk with you. You know, you're going to probably fill me with fleas or something like that. But I need to find out what else you know, you know? And the Lord said, even the stones will speak. And God has used homeless people to speak to me in very tough ways. Very tough. Um, I just, I wish it were easier to be where I am, but it isn't. I wish that people would listen to the messengers that God puts out, you know. Two different people gave me the exact same piece of prophecy, and it turned out to actually be prophecy. You know what also turned out to be prophecy was that I was going to lose one of my friends to the mark of the beast. That happened. But I don't know how many of them are gone now because they're all involved in something pretty bad. And it looks satanic and it feels satanic, and I'm suffering because of it. Um, but they're still going to work and they have nice houses, and, you know. But the Lord did tell me, don't envy anybody who's wicked. So I just want them gone. That's all. There are people who will go to hell, and then that will be that. Elio is going to be one of those people because he just doesn't know how to stop coming back to the areas where he's not welcome anywhere in my house. But he thinks that every time I talk, I'm saying something romantic when I'm not. Rifles like M16, they have big bullets and they hurt. And if you don't stand your ground on a day, you might get shot. You know? Just you don't know how to deal with some things. You gotta say crazy stuff, you know. Just I've been wondering about moving from this state, going somewhere else, see how it goes. The last time I went somewhere, it was the wrong somewhere because there were people there who were looking for me, and they found me. I honestly don't know why me. Something to do with a book of mine, with a picture I used online. Let's see what else. What else do they want me for? Maybe these people look for all your sins. Who knows? Mm, mm, mm. People who are into witchcraft suck. Mm. People who use the spiritual realm and the Holy Spirit to try to coerce others to do things. That's not Jesus. That's satanic. That's what my ex-boyfriend, not the last one. Um, oh, once I saw a guy take off another guy's head. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. Um, Pray for your children. Pray for women, especially single women looking for love out there. because the wrong kind of love has been let loose in the world. Okay, shalom, shalom.